Hello everybody, this is SaberWolf94, and today I'm going to talk about a dreaded topic for a lot of Castlevania slash Bloodstained fans, 3D Castlevania games. Now, I do want to say that I'm one of the people that actually really likes Castlevania Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness, and this is why I'm making this video. I want to talk about a little bit about this. Perhaps I'm biased, but I really don't think so because uh, after Lament of Innocence, I immediately, played 2D Castlevania games and loved it. You know, I think it was just great. Now, I think it's fair to say though that my first Castlevania game was Castlevania Lament of Innocence. Um, it was many, many years ago. I think it was in Christmas 2004 when my godmother with me and I think some other of her godchildren. We kind of got together. She drove us around. We had some fun, and we went to the store for her to get gifts for us for the Christmas and stuff. And I remember I got a Pokemon Fire Red that came with the adapter and the little really cool manual, special manual that was outside of the box. I think it's exclusive to Greece or something. I don't know, but anyway. And I also got a double bundle. It was I got it for the Yu-Gi-Oh game, of course, but little did I know that would change my life. It was the Yu-Gi-Oh Duelist of the Roses that had the Magna Warriors in two. That was pretty hot, pretty cool game. I wish it was better. They made if the mechanics were slightly different and stuff, I think would have been even more amazing. But anyway, so it was that game. I got it because it was Yu-Gi-Oh for the PlayStation 2. You know, surprise, surprise, I was young. But it also came together with Castlevania Lament of Innocence. Now in Europe and over here it was just called Castlevania. It was Castlevania on the PlayStation 2. Now, at that age, I really just cared about Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Dragon Ball, shit like that. Had no interest in like first-person shooter games and violent games and horror games and stuff, and I might have even been scared by stuff like that back then. I really just thought it wasn't cool. So I remember that, I didn't even touch it. I came home and told myself, okay, Dad, this sort of game, Castlevania shit, you guys can have it. You guys can keep it. Like, I'm not going to play it. You guys, it's for you guys. You guys are going to enjoy it. Anyway. And I remember he did, like, put it on once with my brother, and they experienced it. So when you think about it, they actually have experienced it before I experienced Castlevania. My younger brother experienced Castlevania before me, which is kind of ironic. But anyway, but after many years, I think I was definitely 15, no doubt. I was going through my games and thought, instead of buying a new game, let me just try these games that we have. Let's try this Castlevania Lament of Innocence. I think I checked the booklet out. I checked the box and the game a little bit and thought, this could be a cool game. I do play like action games and stuff now. And I tried it, and I'm pretty sure in the beginning I wasn't really feeling it exactly still. But then I started feeling it, started getting the hang of it. It was very different for me because I was used to the analog cameras and stuff and different controls. So it was kind of weird, but I did thought it was cool. The character was cool and stuff, and it really just made me want to try it. And eventually, I loved it. And I've played that game a million times. I basically play it every year. Uh, like I don't even plan to play it every year. It just happens. It, I just wow, I really want to play Castlevania Lament of Innocence again. And I got this for the PlayStation 3. I had to go through hoops to use an Amazon code and stuff to get it because I'm not supposed to get it in my country. Damn it. But anyway, played it a million times. And it's what introduced me to Castlevania. And I played, I think, Harmony of Dissonance then, and Aria of Sorrow, Circle of the Moon, then got Order of Ecclesia because that was it was in the period where the DS games were kind of out of print. They were kind of rare. You had to pay like $70 and shit to get them. So I got Order of Ecclesia, was the cheapest I could find, and then later on I managed to get Dawn of Sorrow and Portrait of Ruin. Played those as well. Um, I played Dracula X Chronicles when I got in Order of Ecclesia too. I got those games together from a shop called Play Canada on eBay. I don't know, I think it's gone now. Maybe the name's changed, but you know, that was when I got into Castlevania. Like I wasn't like very. I was quite old when I got into it. It wasn't like a Pokemon and shit and other games, other franchises like Ratchet and Clank and Jack that I've experienced when I was young. But the games were cool. The games was great. I got like Castlevania Curse of Darkness naturally after that, and I like that too. Um, it's got some things that are better than Lament of Innocence, but Lament of Innocence is better in that game in other ways too. But the reason why I want to talk about this is because I do want to see more Castlevania 3D games. And I'm not talking like what the fuck they did with Lords of Shadows. I mean like really good 3D Castlevania or Bloodstained, and maybe another Bloodstained game 3D that has the sort of eager feel, because I really don't understand why a lot of people, if you're a real ass Castlevania fan, like at least an Igavania Castlevania fan, maybe if you're one of the super old school guys, yeah, this doesn't appeal to you, but I really feel like the eager spirit was there. Like they were games that if you liked the 2D Castlevania games, I guess maybe if you experienced a lot of action games and you kind of had that standard for them, it wouldn't be the same for you. But I feel like those games, Castlevania Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness, they had that Castlevania, Koji Igarashi, Igavania theme to them. Like, of course, they weren't going to be like 2D, they were 3D games, and they had various differences, but the feel was there, like the story was there, the love was there. And they had the kind of issues, but I suppose for me, a lot of their issues aren't even like real issues. Like, I really don't care in Curse of Darkness that uh, the gameplay is kind of repetitive and level designs. I mean, of course, I do kind of care, but it isn't enough for me to like hate the game. In fact, I love those games. Uh, both games are very cool for me, and I really wish I could play Curse of Darkness on the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4 as well. They never did that sort of HD remaster bundle. I remember there was a Facebook page that demanded that. I was a part of it. But anyway, so I want to talk about uh, how it would be great and it can be better. And I feel like Koji Igarashi, even though he's doing 2D games, he's doing Bloodstained and stuff, I really feel like he wants to give 3D another shot, or he wants to perfect 3D. He wants to like be good at it, make games that kind of get acclaim and say that, okay, I managed to do 3D as well. I remember in some interviews, very old, of him saying stuff like that, and he basically pretty much said, I'm pissed off that I couldn't make them work that amazing. And even though to me, like, they're still good, solid games, they're not shit games, I really wonder, like, did people that don't like them give them a chance? Like, maybe try them, or at least not only try them, like, give them enough chance? Because I'm gonna tell you, in the beginning, Lament of Innocence was kind of weird for me. The controls and shit and stuff, I was not used to it at all. And the camera and shit, I don't know. But uh, did you guys, like fellow Castlevania fans and Bloodstained fans that are really pro 2D Castlevania games and really just don't care about 3D, and or maybe at least you don't care about these 3D games, did you guys try them? Did you guys give them a chance? And how do you feel like they can be done right? Because let me tell you something. I did play Bloodborne, and I feel like Bloodborne, if it basically had Castlevania on it as a name, like I wouldn't have known the difference. I would be like, yeah, this is a Castlevania game for sure in 3D. Uh, That game was fucking amazing. Um, Pretty much, it got Game of the Year, I think, in 2015. Uh, Deserving, I think. It's also a game that maybe it's kind of repetitive, or maybe the puzzle and shit like that, it's kind of standard, and the whole thing where you unlock the doors from the other way and make shortcuts and stuff. It's kind of simple and predictable and standard, but as a game, Bloodborne, the graphics, the enemies, the presentation, the story, the feel, the air, and that shit is so Castlevania. Um, in the beginning, of course, because I never played a Souls game, I'm not familiar with the Dark Souls games and stuff. It felt like, oh man, these controls are so different. You don't jump, you attack with R1 and shit and what have you. Because I did pay for it and I did want to enjoy it and experience it and stuff, I sort of gave it more of a chance, and once again, I enjoyed it and love it. It's hard as fuck. I don't think it's as hard as Ninja Gaiden. It's a different kind of hard, but it is a very fucking hard game, yeah, definitely. And man, I don't even know how fucking hard it's gonna be when I play the hard mode on it. The I guess you call it a New Game Plus mode, but I did play Bloodborne, and maybe a lot of you people will say that that's how Castlevania should be, and that's like Castlevania in 3D done right. And I think it's a great game, and yeah, maybe Castlevania could go in that direction too, but I feel like it's not exactly Igavania Castlevania shit. I really feel like Lament of Innocence, if it had more content, maybe some stuff like the uh, ritual, the relic stuff was implemented better, it would have been a better, would have been a very good game, a better game. It is a good game for me, but I think the story in that game is fucking amazing. Uh, the action and the graphics for the time in 2003 to 2002 on the PlayStation 2 were top notch. That game is beautiful. It holds up to this day, if you ask me. And yeah, I feel like it's kind of different. Even though Bloodborne was great, maybe you guys think that that's Castlevania in 3D, but I don't know. Like, I really feel like Igavania, if he puts himself into it and tries again, and with the new era of games and shit, how it is right now, he can improve upon them and can make a very good 3D game that can appeal to more people. I guess if he, now that he has Deco and these sort of experienced 3D guys with him, if he puts that 2D feel and that 2D touch, that Ecovania touch, and gets help from people that have more experience with 3D platforming games and 3D games, action games and stuff, that he can make even better 3D Castlevania games. Perhaps even take notes from Bloodborne. But let me know what you guys think. If you agree or if you disagree. I don't know. I did always try to find games like that too, but I could never just be satisfied. I guess you really just need that Igavania touch. Um, there was a game on the forums that somebody posted called Knights of Azure. That guy was really like, if you guys like Curse of Darkness, you probably like this. And I thought, oh yeah, finally, maybe this guy knows what he's talking about. And checked out reviews and shit, and it looks a good game that I would like, but I don't really feel like it's that kind of Castlevania Curse of Darkness game that I'm looking for. So I don't know, if you guys have any recommendations, make it some good ones, because just like with 2D Castlevania games, there's a lot of Metroidvania games out there, and games that kind of have that feel, but they're not the same. They don't give you the same feel. The closest thing to 2D Castlevania games that I found that I really enjoyed would be like Muramasa Rebirth on the PS Vita. I love that game. It was kind of repetitive as shit too, and had a lot of pointless mechanics. Like, it was never that hard and shit. And when you died, you didn't like go to the save point and shit, which I think was a flaw because then it's just like, okay, what's the point? It doesn't matter how many times I die. There's no consequence. I don't have to eat food and shit, even though you do want to eat to make swords and stuff. But that's a game that I really liked. Uh, Shantae, I like that game too. The Pirate's Curse, and I have to fucking get the one half genie hero and shit. That looks like an amazing game. But that too, I think I got Ease 7. I enjoy that game too, but I think the closest was Muramasa Rebirth, honestly. And for 3D Castlevania games, Bloodborne, definitely. Darksiders 2, that's actually, pretty cool. Not exactly Castlevania, uh, but it was definitely close to. But you guys let me know. I don't know if this video, what was the point of this video to be honest, but I guess I talked a little bit about Castlevania history, my Castlevania history, and what have you. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys subscribe and leave a like. Give me your thoughts, because we really need some more Castlevania in our lives, I feel like. Since Konami isn't fucking doing shit, I don't know. And since I'm mentioning Konami, let me mention Lords of Shadow. So I did play the Lords of Shadow, the first one. It was kind of alright, but not my cup of tea. And the 3DS game, it was decent. I beat it. I needed more replay value that game. And Lords of Shadow 2, definitely shit. Didn't even try that. I'm pretty sure it's shit. But anyways, guys, hope you guys like, subscribe, share this vid with your motherfuckers. And what up?